Welcome everyone to Breaking Big Blue. I'm your host Jordan Ron on ESPN, ESPN.com. Giants reporter, we're here with the wide receiver episode. That's because in a few minutes we have an interview with Wan'Dale Robinson live from training camp. It was taped on Monday afternoon. Preseason game 1 coming up this weekend against the Buffalo Bills. Interesting part of that, it should be Jackson Dart. How much do we see him and the Giants quarterbacks play? Not sure we're going to see Russell Wilson and company in the first teamers. Jackson Dart, however, different story. So might be our first look in live game action of the rookie quarterback. This is the wide receiver episode, though. So I'm going to go over all things wide receiver because we have Wan'Dale Robinson on. But first, a little programming update. It was announced earlier this week, or late last week, actually, I should say. Breaking Big Blue and Giants Nation show, Giants Nation pod. Bobby Skinner and I have collaborated. We're going to join forces. Basically, I'm going to host a live show. Breaking Big Blue is going to be held live every week, once a week, on the Giants Nation show YouTube channel. And we're going to do it together at times. It's basically going to be a collaboration of the two. This is going to be in addition to the normal Breaking Big Blue. So lucky for you, you get double the amounts of Breaking Big Blue. You get a collaboration between Bobby and I, Giants Nation show, Breaking Big Blue, joining forces together. It'll be an opportunity for you to provide your questions. Maybe we'll do it on the road. Maybe we'll do it live. Have some players there. So a lot of fun possibilities, right? Anything's on the table. We're going to try a lot of things. You know, you throw the junk against the wall and eventually something sticks. So we're going to try it out, see if it works. But I think it's going to crush. I think we're going to do great. Bobby's also super excited about it. So keep an eye out for that sometime mid-August. Breaking Big Blue and Giants Nation show collab. It's going to be fire. So stay tuned for that. I want to start here because I'm going to training camp every day. You're looking, you're watching, you're seeing all the things. Guys have up and downs. Everyone has good plays, bad plays. It's football, right? But what stands out going to camp every day, it's pretty clear, is Malik Neighbors. I mean, this guy is dynamite. Right? He had a shoulder injury one day, left practice early. He's dealing with a toe problem. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Nobody can guard him. No, I get it. Darrelle Revis in his prime is not out there, right? Deion Sanders, even today's top cornerbacks, the Patrick Surtains of the world, Sauce Gardner, they're not out there every day against Malik Neighbors. But holy cow, this guy's good. I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of good receivers. You saw what he did his rookie year. As long as he stays healthy, that's going to be the problem for Malik Neighbors. He might be on the injured list a lot. That just might be part of his MO. But as long as he goes out there and plays on Sundays, and is available to play, holy cow, Malik Neighbors is going to do damage. Like, he did a little over 1,200 yards, 100-plus catches as a rookie. Granted, targets are off the charts. You don't want him having 200-plus targets. It's not good for the offense. It's not good for the team. But, I mean, he should be more efficient with his targets this year. And, you know, if he's healthy, 1,500 yards is certainly within the realm of possibilities. I will say this. I'd almost be surprised. Now, I'm not sure if he's going to be Justin Jefferson level, Jamar Chase level, those top guys. But hot damn, he's going to be close. If he's not at that level, he's going to be a level right below those guys. That's how good he is. Paulson Adebo can't guard him. Deontay Banks can't guard him. Whoever else the Giants put on him, he gets matched up against a slot cornerback, and he's jumping up, contorting his body. He just makes it look easy. He really does. I found it interesting because you know what? You'll hear from Wan'Dale later why he thinks Malik Neighbors makes it look so easy. That's the number one thing you see at camp. That it doesn't even matter. He's going to be one of these guys, Malik Neighbors, that's quarterback proof. It doesn't matter. Like Terry McLaurin has been so good with Washington. He's almost quarterback proof. Justin Jefferson, quarterback proof. Right? You go to Kirk Cousins, everyone's like, oh, Sam Darnold's going to knock him down. No, Justin Jefferson's still an absolute stud. Right? It's going to be the same with J.J. McCarthy. Doesn't matter. Quarterback proof. Malik Neighbors is going to be a quarterback proof player. He was good with Daniel Jones. He was good with whoever else came in last year, finished the season. He was good with Drew Lock. He'd be good with Russell Wilson. He'd be good with Jackson Dart when he eventually gets in. Jameis Winston if he gets in at any point. That's how good Malik Neighbors is. Now, as far as the other rest of the Giants receivers, it's like everyone's always like, who's their number two? They paid Darius Slayton to be the number two. He's been their leading receiver for 5 of the last 6 years. Darius Slayton can play. If the Giants had high quarterback play or they had a high-octane offense or he was on a high... If Darius Slayton was on the Kansas City Chiefs, he'd be putting up big numbers. Not perfect receiver. More of a deep threat than anything else. Not exactly a possession guy. Can do a lot of different things, but his thing is he can get downfield and make big plays. Like if he was on a good team with a really high-octane offense, he'd be close to a 1,000-yard guy. And then Wan'Dale Robinson having a solid camp. We'll hear from him in a few minutes on what he could do even better. 93 catches, almost 700 yards last year. Obviously, the efficiency, not exactly what he wanted or anybody wants. Catches, in yards per catch, and I mean, he was just getting laid out there, right? I mean, think about how many big hits Wan'Dale Robinson took, where he just caught the ball in an uncompromising position and was belted into another planet. Like again, a more efficient offense. Should he be a more efficient Wan'Dale Robinson? Be a more efficient Darius Slayton? And those are the Giants' big 3 receivers. Jalen Hyatt, I think so far, he's proven he's improved his all-around game. Is he ever going to be a great all-around receiver? I don't know. The jury's out. Does he bring something to the table? Absolutely. Said he gained 18, 19 pounds. I think he's up to 190 now, I think he said. Whereas last year he played at 162, 161. So now he's at like 189, 190. That's a good sign. See a little bit of improvement in his routes. Still not his strength, but dude has quickness. He has speed. His speed is unique and rare. So he should be able to contribute. You're seeing him contribute now that he came back this past week in training camp. You're seeing it even when Malik Neighbors is on the field, which I think is a good sign. That the Giants have to find ways to mix him in. Now, is he going to be a guy who is their number 2 receiver? I don't think so. But do they need him to contribute? Absolutely. After him, little Jordan Humphrey has proven to be a guy to watch out for, potentially as a possession receiver. Amir Smith-Marset, he's sort of next in line behind Wan'Dale Robinson, especially in that slot. Does some outside too. Can do some things. Get him the ball. I think you might see him a little bit. Slip screens, end arounds, reverses, stuff like that. That seems to be where he could thrive. Get the ball in his hands, let him move in open space. Now, we'll get to standouts and strugglers in a second. There's a couple other wide receivers in there. But Gunnar Olszewski's back, returner / wide receiver. I think he's proven over the last couple of days of camp that he actually can play as a wide receiver in this league, and he's already proven that. But we'll see if the Giants find room for him or if he's just a contingency for Amir Smith-Marset, who proved to be a good returner last year for them. I'd be really shocked if he wasn't their returner and they moved off him. But at least they have a contingency now with Gunnar. Gunnar Olszewski has already proven he could be a returner in this league. He actually was good 2 years ago for the Giants. If you remember, actually, he was trying to play. They kind of pushed him back a little too quickly last year. Pre-game warm-ups of week 1, he gets injured. It basically ruined this whole season. Didn't play at all last year. So the fact that he's back, huge surprise, but gives him an opportunity now to prove what he can do, and whether it's for the Giants or for somebody else. But it also gives the Giants an insurance contingency plan if something happens to Amir Smith-Marset or that doesn't work out. So those are the primary receivers. Zach Pascal also. Little surprise. We'll get to him in a second. But he was very quiet at the beginning of camp. Didn't see him much in the spring. Veteran. He actually had a pretty good week, which takes us into our week 2 standout strugglers, right? So we'll start with the standouts. And I've mentioned Hyatt before. Back from a minor injury. It was a very minor thing. Missed a few days. Was on the side. We're not doing team drills. Since he's been back, though, he's looked good. Montrell Washington has looked really good. Number 80, smaller guy, but making plays downfield. Made a ridiculous one-handed catch on Monday, as earlier in the day. I'm taping this on Monday. But it's not just that. He's had like a good week. And here's the thing with Montreal Washington. He's been around for 3 years. He was with the Chiefs to start his career. He's had some opportunities, but he's never really stuck. Now, is he going to be a guy where you look at him, he's going to be, where Montreal Washington's going to be catching 50 passes for the Giants this year? Probably not. Can he be a fourth, fifth receiver, though? I don't think it's out of the question. If he's their best option as fourth, fifth receiver, or fifth, sixth receiver, whatever it may be, however many they carry, if he keeps playing like this, it's a possibility. Does he end up on their practice squad? Probably the most likely option. But I think it's worth noting. I mean, he's played well. You give him credit where credit is due. Montreal Washington's done well. And then Zach Pascal, I mentioned him before. Now, on the other side of the ball, it's the only guy I have on standouts, at least for this week, on the defensive side. Drew Phillips, Giants slot cornerback, has actually had a really good camp. Even some of the catches against him, I mean, he gave up a Neighbors catch. He jumped over him, beat him out of the slot. Coverage wasn't bad. Wan'Dale Robinson caught this ridiculous pass on his back. Drew Phillips knocked it away downfield, and it just happened to land back in Wan'Dale's lap. Like, coverage, again, really good. I'm not sure he's an all-pro, Pro Bowl player, but Drew Phillips looks like he's going to be a very solid slot cornerback in the league. And it's a very valuable position. It's not the position. You're not going to get all the praise in the world. You're not going to get paid through the nose like a stud cornerback would be. But he looks like he's going to be a really solid slot cornerback. So I'm impressed by him. And I want on my standout list also, here, the next one. I want to give credit where credit is due because we sit here and it's easy to pick on him. And a lot of people picked on him last week. The snaps were off. There's a lot of bad snaps. There was a couple reps where John Michael Schmidt, the Giants center, was getting pushed into the backfield. I thought he had a pretty strong week this week when they turned more towards the running game. And you can see that with the Giants line in general. It's a better run blocking line, I believe, than pass blocking. So John Michael Schmidt, I wanted to put him on the standout list this week. And my final one, again, on the offensive line, Marcus Bowe. Rookie tackle playing primarily on the right side. Said he works on both sides, but still, when he's out there on the field, it's almost always on the right side, right tackle. Marcus Bowe, rookie fifth-round pick out of Purdue, has had a really good week. The first week, he's matched up against Abdul Carter, getting just torched left and right at times. It's tough. You're going against Abdul Carter, the guy's going to be probably a Pro Bowl player. He's at least a Pro Bowl caliber talent. And you're a rookie offensive lineman, but he seems to have really settled down nicely. I like what I've seen from Marcus Bowe. Not the biggest guy in the world, but he seems to win with technique. And to me, that's impressive, especially for a rookie to have settled down so quickly, because that's one position where I wouldn't even think twice and judge him that poorly if he came in here and just got torched consistently as a rookie. Because if you're working with the second team, you're basically playing against starting caliber edge rushers, whether it be Abdul Carter or Golston, Chauncey. I'm always in my head, I'm thinking all different kind of Golstons. There's so many Golstons in this league. Chauncey Golston, former Cowboy. When he's working against those kind of guys, those are starting caliber guys. Those are guys who are going to play significant roles for the Giants this year. Who are starting caliber edge rushers in the NFL. So to have to deal with that as a rookie, that's a lot to handle. I'm going to do strugglers real quick, and then I want to get to Wan'Dale Robinson. The strugglers, I'm going to start with Cam Skattebo, not because of how he did on the field. Cam Skattebo actually was very impressive on the field. His ability to catch the ball, move in space, very impressive. But he left practice, started working on the side, then he had a setback. So now Cam Skattebo, or Skattebo, I'll have to talk to him about what is the pronunciation. I believe it's Skattebo, even though it's only one O, it doesn't make much sense. But he's not on the field now. And he had a setback. And it's a leg. It looked like he was favoring his hamstring when he went off the field one of the days. And if that's the case, you got to be careful with these kind of leg injuries. MRI turned out okay. The Giants are optimistic about it, that it's not going to be a super long-term thing. But still, when it's a leg injury and a soft tissue injury, like a hamstring, which it looks like, that's something you have to be very careful, and it could basically make the beginning of his career start slowly. We'll see. Hopefully, he can get back on the field in the next couple weeks. But jury's out. We'll see how that goes. We haven't seen him even working on the side the last few days, so it makes me wonder. Theo Johnson, I have on my struggle list. Not so much because he's played poorly or he's dropped a bunch of passes. No, as a matter of fact, he had a great catch on Monday's practice, where he jumped over a defender. But he just wasn't as much a factor in the offense in the second week of training camp than I thought he was in the first week. And I'm wondering if it's more of a Russell Wilson thing than anything. We know Russell Wilson, he's a smaller quarterback. If it's not bootlegs or screens, like the tight end doesn't play. The middle of the field doesn't play a huge role when Russell Wilson is the quarterback. So it does have me concerned, okay, what is Theo Johnson going to be able to give this team this year if Russell Wilson is their quarterback? It does have me a little concerned there. It's like the same thing when they get in the red zone. Like that's not, Russell Wilson has to move around. He has to run bootlegs, get quick passes to the flat. Those kind of quick hitters towards the boundaries in order to be successful. Does that limit Theo Johnson? Next up for the strugglers, Tommy DeVito had a bad couple days at camp, really rough couple days. I believe it was Friday, Saturday, wasn't his best, threw a couple interceptions. He's getting limited reps, so if in your limited reps you're struggling. Now, he bounced back today, Monday. He actually had probably his best day of camp. So, but still, when you're the fourth quarterback up and you're getting limited reps, that hurts when you have a bad day or two. So, Tommy DeVito certainly has his work cut out for him. And I think for him, the most important thing coming up is going to be how he performs in the preseason, whether it's, convincing the Giants he could play or showing other teams what he could bring to the table. Let's keep an eye on that as the preseason comes. Juice Wells and Felton, drawing a blank on Felton's first name, undrafted wide receiver, both of them just haven't really hit their stride here, especially in the second week. It's been a rough go for both of them. Wells is just not making many plays. Felton's been dropping some passes. So the undrafted wide receivers for the Giants, for the most part, it's been a little bit of a struggle. Dalen Cambry, he's actually number 5, smaller guy, mostly a slot guy. He's actually been probably the most impressive of them all so far, at least this past week of camp. Elijah Chapman, when they went to the defensive lineman second year, when the Giants went to the run-heavy portion, they started putting on the pads. That's where you see his limitations. Like, look, he probably has a role in the NFL and probably with the Giants in some pass rush situations where you can get him, have him go upfield. But he's a smaller defensive lineman. You see his limitations. I think you saw that this week. It was a reminder, hey, when Dexter Lawrence isn't on the field, his run defense does not look great. It could be a problem. Roy Robertson Harris is a guy they brought in. He's been okay. Jeremiah Ledbetter, who I thought would play a significant role, especially in the run defense, he's basically running with the third team. Darius Alexander, the rookie third-round pick, he's had a slow start. I think he came in, was banged up in the spring. That probably contributes to it as well. But it is what it is. So Jeremiah Ledbetter and Elijah Chapman, not the best past week for them on the defensive line. And then Greg Dulcich, tight end, came from the Broncos late last year. Was making plays early in camp in the spring. You're like, okay, this guy, has a chance. They put on pads. They start hitting. The drop passes, mistakes start coming. It was this week has been a struggle for Greg Dulcich, so I'd be surprised if he makes the roster at this point. Let's get to Wan'Dale Robinson. On to the next one. All right, we got Wan'Dale Robinson here. Now, by the way, a veteran. Yeah. So it was year 4 for you. How does that feel? And with year 4 comes the idea of contract. That's always something. How much does that kind of resonate with you, or do you even think about that stuff?
I try not to think about it too much. Just try to go out there and get better each and every day, and just worry about football. And I know my agents and things like that. They take care of that stuff on that side of the football field. So. What
about being a veteran though? Like, is that weird that you're a veteran? Last year, just about 700 yards. Kind of like, okay, now you proved you're a quality player in this league. You could be a factor. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I know you think you could do much better than that.
Oh, yeah.
But
What's that like, knowing that you're not the young guy anymore? Hey, I got to be one of these steady producers now.
I mean, shit, I try not to treat it any different than how I've been. Just got to be a little bit more vocal, and rookies are looking at you a little bit more and asking questions, and so you got to be a little bit more of that leadership role, but still going out there and trying to be better each and every day, just like I was my previous 3 years.
In what way? Like, you go in there, you go out this summer. You actually, where'd you train a lot?
Atlanta.
I was going to say Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a bunch of guys actually were there.
Yeah.
Training with you. You go out there. What are you concentrating on? Like, what do you say? Oh, I need to get better at X.
I mean, it's everything, really. I mean, you always feel like you can get better with your breaks, catching the football, running through the football, just a lot of everything. I feel like that's where kind of took another step with just breaking down playing receiver and honing in on the details of everything and taking that next step.
93 catches, but 140 targets. How do you look at it? Because obviously the efficiency there, you say, want to be more efficient, want to make more yards, 699 out of 93. How much has it changed? I think you talked about running different routes this year and being able to get downfield more. How much does that change what you can do in your mind?
I mean, I feel like it opens everything up, especially, obviously I work a lot of the underneath stuff, but getting down the field I think will just expand everything and get guys to respect that and just open up even more underneath and then run after catch even for that. So,
how much does Russ play into that for you? Because obviously the moon ball, we all know Russ, he likes to throw the ball down the field. He's a shorter quarterback, so the middle of the field is not where he's done most of his damage throughout his career. Does that change anything for you?
Not specifically. I mean, we've been going through the same concepts that we've had in this offense. Obviously, just going with stuff that he feels familiar with. But at the end of the day, just getting open is his biggest thing. If you're open, he's gonna make sure he gets you that ball.
Have you noticed the difference with the routes you run now? Like, you go about getting downfield, obviously, big part of that.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, if he sees something, he sees the guys pressed up and doesn't feel like he can run with me, he'll give me a little signal and just means go. So
like the other day when you caught the ball downfield.
Yeah.
From your butt.
I say, well, that was actually a little caught. And I was on him a little bit. I was like, hey, that ball was a little late. You know that, right? So,
it was. I mean, hey, a catch is a catch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I say I'm not gonna be mad at that. I mean, as long as it's I'm getting the opportunity, and at the end of the day, it's on me to go up there and make the play. So, yeah, whatever works.
But to me, that was like a sign. You know what? We didn't see a lot of that the past couple of years. Like, you running those kind of routes and getting the ball in those kind of spots. To me, that was like an eye opener. Like, oh wow, we are going to see Wan'Dale more downfield than we were in the past.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I feel like if you watch me in college at all, you know that I can run a little bit and get down the field, and just ready to showcase that a little bit here.
What's the quarterback room like for you? Because everyone looks at it from a distance. They say, very interesting mix of personalities.
Yeah.
So you tell me, what's Russ been like?
I mean, Russ has been great. He's been a great leader. Tells you exactly what he wants. Same guy each and every day. Again, like I said, great leader. He's going to do anything that he asks you to do, he's going to be doing it too. So, and I think that goes with all of our quarterbacks. They're all tremendous leaders and they're all gamers. Get out there and put that ball in their hands, and I feel like good stuff's going to happen.
So describe Russ in one word.
Intentional.
Jackson.
Moxie.
Jameis.
I guess whatever's funny and serious at the same time. What word would that be? Well, just serious, goofy.
Funnest.
Yeah,
okay.
He's the funnest.
We just make up our own words here. Funnest. And then Tommy.
Cutlets.
I mean, you can't argue that one.
No, I love Tommy. He's been a pro's pro, especially. I mean, obviously, them bringing in 3 new guys, and obviously he probably knows the offense better than any of them, just being here the longest. But and he's been the ultimate pro, even if he's not getting all the reps, and but he's still out there being a great teammate.
What is Mike Kafka changed for you guys? Like, you're here when Kafka ran the plays, and Dable ran the plays, and now you're back to Kafka again.
Yeah.
Does it feel any different when he runs the offense compared to when Dable runs the offense for you guys?
I mean, I guess in a little bit, in a sort of way. I would just say this whole year feels just different. I mean, obviously, just
explain that.
Who we have back there playing quarterback, just the accountability from everybody. Like, we're all on each other, just making sure that we're doing the right things. Everything just kind of feels different in a good way. So yeah.
Malik year 2.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, watching him at practice, sometimes you're just like, man, nobody can guard him. What makes him like when you guys go back and watch film? What do you think? And you see him a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not paying attention to his routes during the during practice. You're worried about your stuff and you're running your routes.
Yeah.
But when you go back and look, like, what makes him so good? Like, what is it that he's able to get open and it looks easy? I don't know. I don't know. I know it's not easy,
Yeah.
and you don't really want to say that, but he makes it look like it.
I mean, the guy. I mean, he's strong. He might not look as strong, but he's really, really strong, and his spatial awareness is great. Just knowing how when guys are moving in a certain ways, and just the feel of a guy's body leaning one way or another. He's just tremendous at that, and just obviously the releases off the line. If you can't touch somebody whenever they release off the line, it's kind of over with from there. Obviously, he can run all the routes in the route tree, and at the end of the day, just get the ball in his hands and let him do what he does. That's what we all like to say.
What's that wide receiver room like? I'm curious. Like, who's the dominant voice? Who's outspoken? Who's cracking the jokes?
I wouldn't say none of us are like a dominant voice, just overspoken. I think all of us have our times whenever we know if we need to say something, we'll say it. Especially, I guess, with us being so young. Even Slay, him being the older guy, he's still not too old, but
he's the longest tenured guy on the
Yeah.
team, though. He's tied for it
Yeah.
at least.
And he's just quiet too. So he's not like a super rah-rah guy, but anything that needs to be said, he's gonna say it. So I mean, I feel like we're all pretty much laid back, and but whenever we need to say something, we'll say it.
Who's cracking the jokes?
That's probably all of us. Everybody in the room we're joking with each other. Some days it might be a little bit more of Jalen. Some days it might be Amir. A little bit of everybody. That's one thing I would definitely say. Our room, we got plenty of jokesters in there.
I like asking this question because you learn a lot about people. You get in a bind, right? You don't have money on you. Your car gets towed. You need someone to bail you out in a pinch. Who you calling?
Either Jalen or Darius. Slayton. Leak. He probably ain't gonna have. One phone might be on. One phone might be off. Even Jalen too might be one phone, one off. Now Slay gonna answer. And Slay gonna come.
All right, you can trust that. I mean,
yeah, we can trust on Slay.
I mean, you're going wide receivers. I would think Russ.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Russ is like a given, right?
We talking?
No, I was
okay.
talking wide receiver, but it made me think Russ falls in that category. Like I could trust him, he'll beat it.
Yeah, I'm sure if I called him at 5 a.m., he might be up, and then two, his assistant might answer, be like, "What you need?" So, yeah, definitely Russ there too.
You close it. Well, when with this one, you close your eyes, right? You're envisioning what the season is like for you. What are you seeing?
Another one of those.
He's pointing to the Super Bowl banner with everyone's names plastered on it. By the way, just for reference.
I feel like that's the ultimate goal for each and every team in the NFL, and just gonna keep going out there and working every day, and the personal stuff will come. I feel like, especially if we accomplish that. So
a lot of people would say, "Then, no, you won 3 games last year." Why you dreaming of that? Shouldn't it be baby steps? Would you say that?
Nah, I say if you're not trying to win the whole thing, you're doing it wrong.
Wan'Dale Robinson shooting for the stars for sure. Appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot.
Yes, sir.
Thanks to Wan'Dale Robinson there. That was a fun interview. Thanks for him for playing along for some of the things. But I thought it was interesting to know, like, you see his eyes light up when you start talking about the ability to get downfield, to run these different routes. Like last year, he was really put in some situations that were tough and taking some big hits and taking a beating. And you could understand from his perspective how that's not ideal for any player. But he's a smaller player, taking big hits, being put in these positions where he knows he's going to catch the ball and basically just get blasted. So you could see his eyes light up when you said different routes. And he's talking about different routes that he can run downfield. He's being used more towards downfield, and that's Russ's, that's his skill set, right? So I think we are going to, I mean, look, that's never going to be his strength out of the slot, especially Russell doesn't really, utilize the middle of the field that much. So they're going to have to find different ways to get him the ball. So whether it's vertical down the slot, that might be one solution. Get him working towards the outsides and more. Sometimes I think that'll be a point where you see Wan'Dale Robinson make a lot of plays and little out routes out of the slot, stuff like that. That's where we're going to see him this year. And, he's a quality player. Right now, Wan'Dale Robinson's already proven he's a quality player in the NFL. The question is, how high can he go? Like, what's his ceiling at this point? Can he be a really good slot receiver? Can he be an all-pro? Let's say not all-pro. Let's go all-pro. Let's just go with Pro Bowl slot kind of guy. Jury's out. We'll have to see him in a much more effective functioning offense than he has his first 3 years in the league. Let's get to Jordan on the beat. This is where I tell you what it's like to cover the Giants, work for ESPN, or cover the NFL in general. And the talk of Giants camp so far, at least from the reporter perspective, has been we do the interviews in the field house. And so in the field house, there's a bathroom. So before practice, after practice, you're going and you're going to the bathroom. And there's urinals in there. And in the urinals, inside the field house, are these hydration cups. So basically, you pee into the urinal, and it tests your urine for your hydration. And so it's green for, you're in good shape, yellow for drink 10 to 12 milliliters immediately, red, like, hey, sound the alarm. You might be passing out in a few seconds. Go drink anything you get your hands on. I'm obviously making this up, right? You get the point. It says drink a lot if you have red. So it's hard. The goal was we were all like, oh, can we get to green? Because it was 95 degrees, super humid, and you're just coming in. I was red one day. Red. So I'm like, I'm going to die soon. I better drink a Gatorade here. You're trying to drink, and then we made it like a competition. Oh my God, let me see how the heck do I get it to green? Because every morning it's yellow, yellow, yellow. So still drink more. You're not fully hydrated. Like how much do I have to drink before I come to Giants camp to then get the green light? But these things are great. I'm like infatuated with testing my hydration now. Every day I'm like, hey, I got to go to the bathroom either before or after practice to test my hydration. But they're pretty cool. And I don't know, even when it was super hot, 95 degrees outside, I had 2 Gatorades and a bottle of water or 3 drinks, whatever it was, whatever the combination was. And you go in there and there's like no chance you're going to be totally hydrated. Like it's that hot. You're just sweating that much. And look, I'm not even running. So I can't even imagine how hard it is for these players to actually stay hydrated, for them to get, they must have like 20 drinks a day because they're going out there at 95 degree heat. It was so stinking humid. Like ridiculous last week. Feels like 105 basically. And then to like pea green, get the green light. Man, that's got to be tough. Even yellow. It's like guaranteed you come in from practice, you got to be red, right? If you're running in that much heat, you have to be. But super cool little gadget thing in the urinals at the Giants. So that's my Jordan on the beat here, talking about urinals and hydration tests. But you gotta love it. It was super cool. I'm telling you, if you see these things, it's almost like a little cup, right? And it fills up. It has a hole in the bottom, so it just drains into the urinal. It's like you're just peeing into the urinal. And then as you're doing it, so the first time I did it, actually, I didn't know that it was even in there. And you're just peeing, and you see the color light, and I was like, wait, what color was that? I didn't even notice. So I'm trying to get it to register again, and you couldn't. You have to go back and pee again. But now every time you're like just staring at it the whole time. Ooh, what's it gonna show? What's it gonna show? Come on, green. Lucky green. Let's go green. Oh, yellow. Red. Red. Get me a Gatorade. But all right, that's your Jordan on the beat right there. This is remember, like, subscribe, tell your friends. YouTube at Jordan Ron on ESPN. Collab coming soon. Breaking Big Blue, Giants Nation pod, Giants Nation show, whatever Bobby calls it. Bobby Skinner and I joining forces. Let's go. Like, subscribe, tell your friends you're listening to Breaking Big Blue. See you next time.